Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 for Wednesday, March 30th, 2022. Again, interesting market in that it followed through on direction. And so what I was discussing last night actually played out today. And that was actually provided some good trading for me, but also just gratifying to see that the market finally cooperated with fulfilling its own internal destiny. Now, just to do a quick review, we are still within this intermediate second wave up. And we're getting into that final stage, and I'll go into that in just a minute, but it is still within the qualifications for it to be an intermediate second wave. It hasn't broken any rules, Elliott-wise or even Fibonacci-wise. So I'm still now looking for that second wave to finish. And again, it really looks like it will do it up into that zone, which I'll go over in just a moment. So as you can see that quite often, Elliott always talked about that a corrective phase will normally find its terminus within the price territory of the previous fourth. And often that is referred to how I then determine a lot of times where a fourth wave will come in on several levels. But this isn't. This is a second wave. But I always will look for a level, which it was 15,260, which we did hit yesterday. And then go from there. But in any case, what we can't do is we cannot go up and break 16,767. So going down to the hourly chart, we take a look at the internals for today. So as I discussed yesterday, we're leaving the market may have reached the high as I went on, and I said 15,268.75, that could be the high for wave three, minute wave three of C. We got one, two, now we do have three. And I was looking for an ABC. Boy, we got it. It was clean and it was beautiful. Let me see if I can open that up and make it look a little better. Yeah. So we got it. There was the A, there's the B, and then we got a 1, 2, 3, 4. And I actually do have the 5. This all fulfills. This was just jumping after 4 was completed. It beautifully, beautifully ran back to that 50 moving average. Now that's the discussion will kind of go right around that. But let's first look to see what happened. It came down, it tested it between 1 and 2 o'clock. The next hour it stayed, but it continued to move lower. And this was into the close. And during the close, it dropped down to the support actually that I had put in, just simple retracements. That 382 is actually at 15,003. The low was 15,012.25. So close. In a strong, the market was dropping strongly at that particular point. It just kind of stopped and they came back in. And so number one, the Fibonacci came into play and held. And then the rally back up to the 50 gives a little bit of confirmation and some support to this being that completion of that fourth wave that I was looking for. And I think we got. And so this would then also give support to the fact we got back to it. The market closed right at it. The aftermarket did not waste any time and gave it a nice margin. And by going all the way back up and getting up to, I think, 14 before settling at 105. So nice to drop, got down, put the 4 in, we rallied back up. It fits the picture very cleanly. I will continue to look for upside. Unless from here we nosedive one more time. Then it's got a little bit different. So we could go from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is kind of overlapping 1, but if we did it on a closed basis, it is not. And so then we had a couple of those. So the follow through could be similar, and that we get a little bit above it, and then boom, in the same bar, boom, and then boom. So if we do boom and then boom, we'll get probably back down towards 15,003, maybe dip a little bit below it and then rally back. Because the expectation remains that over the next 2 days, so not that I'm trying to time this particular rally, I'm just attaching it to a weekly expiration, and that will be on Friday. And so a lot of what's happening now, I believe, will start in earnest tomorrow and then into Friday, where the market wants the components to finish. So we're going to be looking at Facebook, we're going to be looking at Google, we're going to be looking at Tesla, NVIDIA, Netflix, Apple, Amazon, et cetera, et cetera. All of these tech stocks will have a very direct effect on where things expire, so therefore where prices will likely be between now and Friday at the close. So as we know from the past, a lot can go on and it can be very volatile price-wise very quickly. And I would not anticipate that we'll see anything else, because if we've got this correct, what we're now going to be completing is that fifth wave. And then that should then complete the C wave. Again, let me just slip back out to that, at least the 4-hour chart so I can see it. What I'm talking about here is that we're looking at this rally, nice rally off of the low at 12,942. And we're talking about that this thing might be ending at 15,500 to 15,600. That's a pretty incredible rally to really be doing in, this would be we'll be ending the second. It's incredible. So in any case, massive. But I believe it's coming to a conclusion, and therefore we have wave A of intermediate 2, wave B of intermediate 2, and we're now working it through for wave C, which will consist of 5 waves of minute degree. We have 1, 2, 3, and most likely 4 in place. That suggests we go up, we break the high currently, which is 15,269, we'll call it, and it gets itself, first of all, it needs to clear this resistance at 15,315, and that actually runs from 15,000 to, well, this is like weird. This is all the way down here, and that's already hit that. Take it back, never mind. 15,300 to 15,315, I'm gonna call it there. And that's right here. It needs to get above there. If it only gets to it, it's a new high. I'll take a look at what's going on here, because don't forget, this, it's not going to be, may not be apparent to a lot of people, but I believe there'll be a lot of traders who will see some changes take place. And sometimes they happen right at the close. Sometimes they happen as these things expire and you see things go away and you see adjustments being made. But that could lead to what ultimately can be the outcome. But I'm looking for a top. And the zone for that top right now goes from that 15,315, then the majority of the box that, or the zone, starts at 15,521 and runs up to in between 15,640 to 673, and then tops at 15,813. So it's going to get interesting. How much do they need? How high do they need these? How high are they willing to push? It's kind of interesting. And all the cards have to be laid out correctly, if you know what I mean. So it's still, we're going to let the market decide, but ultimately, I do think we will break above 15,300 and likely up closer to that 15,521 and above. Okay, I'm going to end it there. So again, we're just going to trade smart. The moving averages are continuing to balance out that we should continue to see upside. There, we have the 4-hour chart, and if I drop it down to the hourly chart, it's not really disagreeing. So in other words, we're getting some turn, and that hourly 50 played twice today, once to the downside and then the recapture. Both signaling, I want to say correctly, in terms of what I would suspect if I get a clean break below that 50, which we did, it dropped the additional close to 75 points off of that where it's sitting. Actually, it did drop 70. So, and then rallied all the way back. And that's what, and then rallied above once the market got it back above. So that signal remains strong. If I move this out, so right now these are turning, but we can understand that they will turn just as quickly. But understand, see that volatility? It's 200. It was a 200 plus move, 200 point plus move, right low, and then back. So watch carefully. I want to slip out to that daily really quickly to see where those moving averages are sitting, because we need to take a peek and keep an eye on this. See how nice and flat that 200, the daily 200 has gotten, and these remain below it. So this remains a fairly solid resistance on the way up. So we're going to wait. There you go. We're going to wait. If the market continues to really rally, will it be enough? I think we may get enough to bring the 4 and the 8 above. If the 8 crosses, then we stand a chance of getting up into here. I got to say, that's what I think we'll see. This will speed up the 8 and the 4 if it gets itself back above, say, the 15,300 from where it is. That I believe will move it here. And that could provide enough bias for algorithms to go ahead and toss out additional buy signals by breaking above it and keeping it going. Next up, of course, we would be looking for the 50 and the 20, but the 20 needs to cross the 50 first. So again, these are like in steps, right? So as they happen, you're looking for that additional possible support to come in from a particular side. In this case, it would be from the buy side. And I'm not looking for a great deal, which fits. It's going to take a lot more to get these to the 20 and the 50, first the 20 above the 50, and then both of them above that 200. And that's what's got to happen if we're going to have any type of a hope of the buyers on what level they want to see. You know, a lot of things have to fall into place on the daily chart to produce that type of a move, because it's going to take time. Right now, I don't see it. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for sure. And we have our marching orders for tomorrow. I'm looking for higher levels. If we drop, we have a chance that there could be a quick drop back towards that 15,003 level. I believe that that level should ultimately hold, and then again return the market to a rally. Otherwise, the market dips just slightly from here, but continues to move higher. And as we set up for tomorrow, we're getting about 15,315. Okay, next update will be Thursday, the 31st.